Hello, beautiful soul. There are moments in life that feel almost too delicate, too sacred to put into words. Moments when something invisible shifts, when the energy around you rearranges itself in a way you can't quite explain, but you feel it. This is one of those moments. And whether you realize it yet or not, something powerful has already begun unfolding behind the scenes of your life. Right now, while you're going about your day, maybe scrolling your phone, sipping coffee, handling responsibilities, or simply trying to make sense of your emotions, there is a story quietly advancing. A story that involves you, a man who has been holding something deep inside his heart, and a moment so emotional it changed everything for him. He showed your photo to his mother, and she cried. Not out of confusion, not out of worry, but from something far deeper, something instinctive, something spiritual, something that reached straight into the core of her being. Let's slow this down for a moment and truly step into what this means. Picture the scene. It's evening, the kind of evening that feels calm, familiar, almost routine. The lighting is soft, the atmosphere quiet. He's sitting near his mother, the woman who has known him longer than anyone else, who has watched him grow, fail, rise, and search for meaning in love. She knows his patterns. She senses his emotions even when he doesn't speak them out loud. For a long time, he kept his feelings hidden, not because they weren't real, but because they were too real, too important to risk, too meaningful to expose before he was certain. But something changed. The feelings grew stronger. They became undeniable. They reached a point where silence was no longer an option. So he did something that, for many men, is more significant than saying, "I love you." He brought you into his inner world. He opened his phone, scrolled through his photos, paused on one image, the one that captured you in your most natural, unfiltered state. Maybe you were laughing. Maybe you were looking away, unaware of being observed. Maybe it wasn't perfect, but it was real. And he handed that moment, you, to his mother. "Look," he said, "it's her." Time slowed. She took the phone, her eyes focused on your face, and within seconds, something inside her shifted. Her expression softened, her breathing changed, and then tears. But not the kind of tears that come from sadness or fear. These were tears that come when the soul recognizes something it has been waiting for. She didn't see a stranger. She saw you. She saw something in your eyes, something warm, something genuine, something quietly powerful. A softness that doesn't mean weakness, but depth. A strength that doesn't need to announce itself. She saw a light. And more importantly, she saw what that light could do for her son. That's why she cried. Because in that moment, she understood something he hadn't even fully put into words yet. She saw that you could bring him peace. She saw that you could steady him in ways life hasn't been able to before. She saw that you could understand him, not just on the surface, but in those quiet, complicated parts of him that most people never reach. A mother knows. She knows when her child has found something real. And in that moment, she recognized you not as an option, but as an answer. Her tears were a form of acceptance, pure, instinctive, undeniable. It was as if, without speaking, she was saying, "Finally, you found her." Now, here's where everything shifts. Because for him, that moment was more than emotional. It was decisive. Men often hesitate when it comes to love. They analyze, question, weigh possibilities. They hold back until something gives them clarity. And in that moment, he received it. Seeing his mother's reaction, seeing her emotional, immediate, authentic response, broke down the last walls of doubt he had been holding on to. Everything became clear. This wasn't just attraction. This wasn't just curiosity. This wasn't temporary. This was real, and he knew it. That single moment Simple on the surface became a turning point, a point of no return. From that moment forward, his mindset began to shift. What he feels for you is no longer something he's just experiencing. It's something he's beginning to build around. He's thinking differently now, more seriously, more intentionally. You might not see it yet in obvious ways. In fact, right now, things might feel a little quiet or even slightly uncertain. That's important to understand, because what feels like stillness is often preparation. He is processing. He is planning. He is stepping into a version of himself that is ready for something deeper, something stable, something lasting. He wants to show up for you differently, stronger, more present, more certain. He wants to be someone you can rely on, not just emotionally, but in a real, grounded way. And here's something even more powerful. His mother's energy didn't just stay in that moment. It extended outward, toward you. Even if you've never met her, even if she only knows you through that single photograph, something inside her has already opened toward you. She feels connected to you. She feels gratitude for you. She feels something that goes beyond logic. It's as if, in her heart, you already belong. Now pause for a second and reflect on this. You may not always see yourself clearly. You may look in the mirror and notice flaws. You may question your worth, your timing, your place in someone else's life. But look at yourself through her eyes. She didn't see imperfections. She didn't analyze details. She felt your essence, your sincerity, your warmth, your emotional depth. She saw what you carry within you, the kind of energy that can bring healing, comfort, and light into someone's life. That's what moved her to tears, and that's what changed everything for him. Now, as time moves forward, you may begin to notice subtle changes. He may start opening up more, talking about his past, mentioning his childhood, sharing memories that he doesn't usually bring up. Pay attention to that, because those moments are not random. They are invitations. He is slowly letting you into his world, not just the version of himself he shows casually, but the real, deeper version. And when that happens, it means something very important. He's no longer keeping you at a distance. He's making space for you. You may also notice conversations shifting. He might start talking about the future in ways he didn't before, not necessarily in big, dramatic declarations, but in small, meaningful hints. Home, stability, long-term plans, even family. Don't rush it. Don't pressure it. Let it unfold naturally. Because what's happening here isn't fragile. It's forming, strongly, quietly, intentionally. There's something else you need to understand too. This connection didn't happen by accident. You didn't randomly appear in his life, and his mother's reaction wasn't coincidence. There's a deeper alignment here, something that feels almost destined. It's rare for acceptance to happen so quickly, so instinctively, and so emotionally. And when it does, it's often because something deeper is already in motion. You may not have all the answers right now. You may still feel moments of doubt or confusion. That's human. But there's something steady beneath all of that. Something real. Something that is already growing roots. And here's the most important part. You don't need to change yourself to make this work. You don't need to try harder, be different, or prove your worth. You already are what moved his world. You already are what touched his mother's heart. That version of you, the one in that photo, the one who wasn't trying to be anything other than herself, that's the version that matters. That's the version that created this entire shift. So stay in that energy. Stay grounded in who you are. Stay open, but not anxious. Trust what is unfolding, even if you can't see all of it yet. Because behind the scenes, something beautiful is being built. And soon, it won't just be something you feel quietly. It will become something you experience clearly. An invitation, a deeper conversation, a moment where everything starts to make sense. And when that moment comes, walk into it with your heart open. Not because you need to impress anyone, but because you're already welcomed, already seen, already valued. There is a woman out there, a mother, who saw your face and felt peace, who saw your presence and felt relief, who saw your energy and thought, this is the one. That means something, more than you may fully understand right now. So when doubt creeps in, remember this. Somewhere, someone cried tears of joy because of you. Not because of what you did, but because of who you are. And that kind of recognition, it doesn't happen by accident. It happens when love is real. And this is only the beginning.